I have 1 week in Iceland to find the Arctic's rarest bird of prey.
Is that a bird? Oh, it is. It is. It's moving because there's a Gyrfalcon sat on top of it. Never, ever, ever had an eagle just fly straight over me before.
Come with me as I hike through marshes, drive through blizzards, and spend way too much time in the cold as we go looking for the Icelandic Gyrfalcon. Right guys, so our plan of attack is to kind of compartmentalise parts of Iceland that we can get to and are feasible for us to be able to see the Gyrfalcon. So we're going to start by looking at the Reykjanes Peninsula, so that's a little bit from the Never Eat Shredded Wheat west of Reykjavik. We're then going to do a bit of the south coast because we know that there are some bird watching places there, so that might be a good spot. And then finally we're going to do the Snæfellsnes Peninsula, which is to the north of Reykjavik but in the west of Iceland. It's a little peninsula that sticks out. So there are going to be, from my research, some of the best places that we can feasibly see at this time of year, which is March time. I don't know what I'm expecting. I remember when I lived here last year, there were not a lot of birds at all around in March. Anyway, the oyster catchers have started to come back. The puffins weren't here yet. So the thing we have to remember though is that these Gyrfalcons, they live here, they're residents, they don't migrate. So they're here all year, it's just a case of finding them, and they're quite difficult to find. Now, Gyrfalcons are super cool birds. They're actually the largest falcon in the world, and what's special about them is they live in Iceland. They're residents, they don't migrate, they stay here all the time. So even during the winters where there's snow and everything, they stay here. Normally they go to the highlands, but some of them can be found in some of the lowlands areas of Iceland. They're also a bird that are a little bit endangered here in Iceland because there's only around 2,000 Gyrfalcons in the whole country. Well, that's the estimate at least. And in fact, there's been a lot of research done recently that showed they're declining quite rapidly, which is very concerning. So it's going to be a bit of a feat for us to be able to find one, but we're going to give it a go anyway. And as always with these trips, even if we don't see one, we're going to see some other fun stuff along the way. So we've just arrived at Lake Klefavatn. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's just outside Reykjavik, but I'm reliably informed by my top tier researcher that we will find some Gyrfalcons here. My researcher, of course, being ChatGPT. But if this doesn't work out, I have a lot more plans of a lot more reliable sources. But it's a little test. Let's see if ChatGPT is good at this sort of stuff or not. I've got my reservations. Now we have a lot of rocky outcrops, so that's very good because the falcons like to sit on them. And they're in the sun side, so they might be bathing in the sun at the moment. And we might get some thermal updrift from the road because it's such a sunny day. It is a bit windy though, so we're going to see if that affects them and if we have any luck. But at the moment we're just walking along the road, trying to see anything on the cliffs, which isn't the best strategy, but hopefully maybe one will come up and fly. Who knows, we'll see. I forgot the tripod, so now I have to walk back to the car. Fortunately I didn't get too far, but it's a little bit annoying. It's going to take me a good 5 or so minutes to get back there, but hey ho. Aha! There you are. Success. As you can see, there are other birds, which are a good sign because the falcon preys on other birds. Mainly, however, the ptarmigan. Not normally bigger birds like this, but sometimes they do. So it's good to see. So it's nice to see a bit of bird life in what is otherwise quite a barren and cold stretch of land. Now we've only just started the search, and already I found behind me on the floor here some tracks of an Arctic fox. So that's a really good thing to see because it tells me there's life in this area. The fox needs birds, it needs to eat birds to survive. So if the fox is here, it's more likely that the Gyrfalcon is also here. Now the Arctic fox is an interesting creature itself. It's kind of got this weird status in Iceland where it's sort of protected but sort of isn't. It's a bit of a pest. It eats birds and it eats chicks, and it's a bit of a problem actually for the bird population here, which a lot of them are endangered. Now there's actually one area in particular where Arctic foxes are protected, and that's in the Westfjords in Hornstrandir. And I was lucky enough to actually be there last year, and it's amazing. It feels like a place that's not been touched by humans, apart from obviously the ferry routes and the hiking trails, but apart from that it really feels like something out of Lord of the Rings with these cute little foxes running around. So I think one day I'm going to have to try and take the best photo I can of an Arctic fox to really do that species justice. So there are no sign of ptarmigan, and obviously the Gyrfalcon likes to prey on ptarmigan. It's one of the main things they eat in winter. So the fact they're not here suggests to me a little bit like it's unlikely that the Gyrfalcon will be here. But we're going to press on, have a bit more of a look and see if we can see anything as we go along the road here. So unfortunately guys, it looks like we're going to have no luck today. Going to have to go back to the drawing board on this one. I was quite hopeful because it's a sunny day, it's a clear day, that we might see something. But we're going to have to do a bit more research and come back at this another day. I'm going to start making my way back to the car. So to get back to the car, I have to walk along this road. So wish me luck, because people can sometimes drive crazy on these roads given the conditions. It's really mental. I was always told to walk into traffic, because that way when the crazy person's coming at you, you have time to jump into the ditch by the road so you can save yourself. I don't know if this is the best approach or not, but it's always worked so far for me. So as a reward for doing the trip, I got myself a chocolate muffin, which I bought with me from the shop. Oh, smells amazing, look at that. Oh, just sugar and chocolate and calories, it's fantastic. So today we're in Thingvellir National Park, and this is actually where two continents meet. It's where the North American plate meets the Eurasian plate, and that's quite important for us because it means that we have high areas of rocky ledges where the Gyrfalcon likes to nest. And we also, as you see behind me, have a rather big lake, and I've already heard actually ptarmigan. You see here with these trees around us here, this kind of foliage and these shrubs, this is exactly the type of place that ptarmigan like to be, which gives me hope that actually it's a place that Gyrfalcons like to be as well. So my plan is to kind of walk along this road here. It's quiet here, I haven't seen any other cars apart from mine, and see then maybe if we can maybe scare a ptarmigan, because that would be a good sign, or to see if maybe we can see a Gyrfalcon. We're just not having any luck. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Been looking around for a little bit. Can't see anything. Right, okay. So we've got a tip. Someone has spotted a Gyrfalcon near Selfoss. So I need to get a move on because we're losing the light. And hopefully, if we're lucky, we may be able to see them there. The area where the Gyrfalcon has been seen, and I suspect it may have been on one of these power lines because they like to sit quite high up. So we're going to have a little look. It's not great though because we are losing the light a little bit, which does make it a bit more challenging. But let's get the binoculars and let's get to it. I don't see anything promising. I think we're just too late. I think if it's hunting here, it's going to be hunting earlier in the morning. And I think if it's nesting, it's not going to be nesting here. It might sit on some of these poles to kind of scout the area, maybe rest for a bit, but I don't think it's going to hang out here. It's probably we're just passing through, maybe doing a bit of hunting, but we're too late for that, as I was saying. So, yeah, So I have one last spot to go to where we may see the Gyrfalcon, but there are other birds we can also see there that are really interesting. So I'm looking forward to this one. Again, we've got to rush because of the light a little bit. But then tonight, I'm going to have one of my favourite treats in Iceland. So I'll take you with me as I get that as well. And that's guaranteed. Not like these birds. You never know when you're going to get those. This one is guaranteed. Oh, look. There are two ravens fighting each other. Can you see that? They were doing some mad stuff in the air a minute ago. We're really near the bird reserve. It's just up here. So I'm gonna keep driving because maybe they're even marked over there. Yeah. So we've just arrived at the Flowy Nature Reserve. I don't want to be too noisy because I need to get in the bird hide. But the special thing here is you may see Gyrfalcon, but that's not the most likely. Sometimes if you're lucky and it's around this time of day when the sun's going down, you can get a glimpse of owls. So that's what we're here to do. That's what we're going to try and see. And this is the hide. And then we also have a little route that we can walk. Well, I've been spotted. I am very grateful to have the boots on that I do. Whoever tells you to bring trail runners to Iceland, especially at winter, just ignore them. It's just not worth it. Yeah, so all I've seen so far is some whopper swans and some ravens, which are pretty cool birds, but obviously not what we came here for. I tell you what, it's been quite warm today, 8 degrees even. But now that that sun's gone down, you can really start to feel the chill bite. It gets really cold really quickly. So it's a bit too dark now to see anything meaningful. So we're gonna head off and head back, call it a day. But I have my very special surprise on the way back, which I'm very much looking forward to. So let's get there and let's check that out. Look at this absolute beauty. We have a hot dog and it's got like a bechamel kind of paprika sauce on it, fries at the bottom and a lovely toasted bun. Looks amazing. I've had a few of these before. I can guarantee it tastes as good as it looks. Whoa. I don't know what they do, but it's the barbecue and the paprika all mixed together. It tastes phenomenal. It's amazing. I will also say the place we went to today, the nature reserve, the bird box there is lovely, and I can imagine in summer when you get all the waders here breeding, it's a really cool place to be. But you can make a really nice day of this. You could come here, you could do Geyser, which is quite close to this. You could then go to the national park and you can finish off by having a nice hot dog here as I'm doing now. So if you don't mind, I'm going to tuck in. Good morning, guys. So today we're in Snæfellsnes, which is a peninsula off the west coast of Iceland, about 2 hours north of Reykjavik. And Snæfellsnes is known for having white-tailed eagles, which are super cool birds, but not what we came to see. But they also have some Gyrfalcons here, so we're hoping to see those. Those are our target species for the day and for this trip. So we're going to see how we get on. So we are currently here. We can see that this is Iceland and this is where we're at from the insert map. And this area is very common. See white-tailed eagle. So we're going to have a look and see if we have any luck. We're going to climb up to the top of this lighthouse. There's a lighthouse on the top. And we're going to see what we can see from there. It'll be very cool to see because there's a lot of white-tailed eagles here. And there's also a cat. So here is the lighthouse, and from up here we have quite a good view down into the fjord. So I'm going to stand here for a bit and see if I see any very large birds flying around. If I do, then they're very likely to be eagles. But we'll keep an eye out and see. No luck so far, but you never know. So the islands you see behind me are actually home to lots of eider ducks, and what they do is they encourage the ducks to come here because when they build their nests they drop a load of down on the ground, and then the farmers can come along, they can pick up down, and that can make sleeping bags and coats and all sort of things. And actually it's kind of a vegan form of down because the bird isn't hurt by this. It's an entirely natural process. But what that means is actually the white-tailed eagle likes to hunt the eider ducks, so they're quite popular on some of these different little islands and sherries and stuff like that you see behind me in this bay. So I spent about an hour here in Sticky Holmer on this little island which they've connected to the land to make this bay up by the lighthouse. So they've got a good vantage point from there, but unfortunately I've not seen anything just yet. So I think I'm going to pop to the local bakery, get something to eat, and then try a different spot and see if we have any better luck there. Guys, wait until you see the second place we've come on today's trip. It looks amazing. Look at that, it's crazy. More roads than you can possibly imagine look like this in Iceland. Just gravel roads for miles and miles and miles. Now, I think people are really worried when they come to Iceland about driving, but actually the driving situation's all right. Most of the roads are very kind of well maintained, apart from the potholes. There's quite a few of those, but there's not really a problem with snow and ice normally. In the winter, obviously, that changes a bit, but I would say you don't need a huge 4x4. You do have to be aware, though, that quite a lot of the roads look like this, which is just gravel roads. So if you're obviously in a smaller car, avoid those. And obviously if you're in a smaller car, there's certain rules about which sort of roads you can go on as well, like the F roads, but they're out of the question anyway in winter. Yeah, so just obviously be cautious with your driving, but don't not drive here. It is an option, it's possible. Just show the correct amount of caution, as with any place. So what we're looking for is the kind of very steep, rocky, craggy kind of bits of cliff. Because what they do is they find a lip or an edge in these cliffs, and that's when they make their nest. And they like to chill out. And March, actually, they've already started nesting in March. They start their nesting behaviour quite early, actually. So we should see them, if there is a nest here, which I don't think there is, but maybe there is, hanging out near it at this time of year. Is that a bird? On the top there. I don't know. Could be. I think we'll have a look. Try and get a bit closer. I really think it might be. Why did I not bring my scope? I really think it's a bird. I think if I get close, it's going to scare. I'm going to try and get on camera, but so we're going to try and get closer and confirm. I really think it is. Oh, it is. It is. It is. 100% it is. Yeah, definitely is. Let's see if we can get you in shot. Yeah, it is. It's moving. I can see the head. Okay, we're going to very, very carefully get closer. He's on the rock. He's there.
Yeah, it's moving. Yeah. What's the top of that rock? It's moving. It's moving because there's a Gyrfalcon sat on top of it. Look, there's his head. Look, and he's turning his head to his left. Whoa, how super. He's moving. I tell you what, that camouflage is awesome. I'm now doubting whether it's a Gyrfalcon or an eagle. No, guys, it's a white-tailed eagle, which is still really cool. You can tell because the beak is really, really yellow. Even from this distance, you can see how yellow it is. And on the Gyrfalcon, they have a little bit of yellow, but the tip of the beak is black, and there's too much yellow on the head here. Also, you can see by the shape and the size, it's quite a big bird, and the patterns on the feather, even though we're not too close and can't see them exactly, it looks too dark. It's much more like the white-tailed eagle, and I think I can see a little bit of their tail, the white of the tail going through. And if that's the case, we know that this eagle is at least 6 years old, because they don't get the white in their tail until they're 6 and above. So still, it's a super, super cool sighting. It looks really, really cool, especially with the mountain in the background. But it's not the Gyrfalcon this time. But there might be one around here. I doubt it. If there's an eagle here, a Gyrfalcon may not like being so close around, but you never know. So I'm going to stay here, wait for the eagle to take flight, and then maybe we do a bit more scouting around here. There he is. Oh, look at that shot. Look at that eagle. Oh. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, especially with those mountains in the background. Look, I'm just walking back and there he is. There he is, look. He's gonna fly right over. Oh my god, look at this. He's flying right over. Whoa. Whoa, what the hell? What a magnificent bird. I have never, ever had an eagle just fly straight over me before. Oh, there he goes. Oh, that was amazing. He just came up from the horizon and flew over me. That was mad. In other news, when I was walking, I fell over, so I basically sliced my hand open, and it hurts quite a bit, but I was a bit down in the dumps. I was a bit annoyed because I've ruined it. Like, I saw the eagle, it's great, let's just continue with the walk, let's chill out a bit. And I fall over, scrape my hand over. I'm like, you're being dumb, Ben, you weren't paying enough attention, you were rushing, you shouldn't have done that. But you know what? That's cheered me up. That's really, really cheered me up. That's super cool. And that's a different one. It definitely is a different one from the other one. They were bigger. I think that's a female. I think that's a female white-tailed eagle. A lot bigger than the one we saw before. Also, do you notice the tail? The tail wasn't as white. So it's probably a younger female potentially. Or I could be wrong. I need to do a bit of research on that. But it was a big bird. The white of the tail, I'll look back on the video, wasn't that white, which suggests to me that it's a bit younger. So maybe that's a younger female breeding with an older male, because seeing two of them so close together, that's interesting. They're very territorial. I think I read in the book somewhere, and I'll check this when I get home, so I'll put the fact on the screen, but I think they need at least 100 kilometers of territory according to one source. So yeah, so seeing two of those like that and a huge one like that, it's incredible, it's amazing.
Look at that rock formation there, little point there. Isn't that cool? No, I didn't want to disturb the eagle too much, so I didn't want to get too close to them. So what I've done is I've backed away now. We're going to walk a bit further down towards the lake and see what's down there. See, if I was a Gyrfalcon, I would fly low over here, dip down very quickly, and take the seabirds that are just there. They've now moved off because I'm here, but they were just there. Because they all flock up and although I'm not a Gyrfalcon, so I don't know if that's something that they would do. Oh, so look here, look, there's a wall. Look, there used to be a house here. That's kind of cool. So I think for now we've exhausted this area, so I think I'm going to head back to the car. Also, stupidly, I didn't bring my rucksack with me, so I don't have any water, and I probably could drink from the stream, but I don't really fancy that. It probably will be fine. The water here is fantastic, but still, not going to do it. And now I'm starting to realise that the walk here was downhill, which means it's much harder going back that way. Oh, I can really do with a drink. Oh, keys. Oh. Oh. Oh, back's killing as well. Bloody hell. Oh. Also, you cannot tell how uphill this was, because like, it's quite cold out, but I feel very, very warm. So that's a good bit of exercise for the day. The problem is it's 5 o'clock, or just gone 5:15 in fact. We've got a couple more places we have to do, but the problem is always the light. Now actually the hours between 5 and 7, when there still is light, is actually not a bad time to look, because the birds might be a bit more active, they might be roosting, there might be more prey opportunities, although earlier is probably better. So we have to go and drive round a little bit further the peninsula to some other spots and have a look there. Maybe we see a Gyrfalcon, but I don't know if we're going to top the white-tailed eagle. Who knows, we'll have to see. So I'm going to drink some more water, I'm going to get in the car, and then we'll get driving. I think for about 20 minutes or so, that should get us to where we need to go. And that fall has really hurt my knee. Oh, it's going to be stiff. Oh, tomorrow morning. Oh. So we ended up in a bit of a random spot, because the spot I was going to turned out to be a bit of a dud. So where we're at is literally by the side of a road, but there's a huge cliff next to the road, and there's a lot of seabirds flying in and out. So I'm wondering, for a falcon, it's quite nice to hop off the cliff, dive down and try and get one of them. So we're going to go have a look. And this is the cliff I was talking about. This is super cool. This is all the ice melting off. So there was no luck by the road. I did see some cool stuff like ravens kind of coming in to roost and then being scared off by the birds, which was kind of fun. But I think that's it. I think we have to call it there. I think it might be a mission failed. So guys, our week has run out and we've not been able to find a Gyrfalcon, which is a real shame. But it just goes to show how important it is to protect these birds, because this bird, particularly in Iceland, is becoming more and more endangered. So we have to do something about this, and this week shows that. They're not everywhere, they're actually really hard to find. But I hope, guys, this hasn't put you off coming to Iceland. There's loads of wildlife and nature to see here. It's a fantastic country, it's a unique country, so maybe this can be a bit of an incentive for you to start your own trip here. So what species should I find next? Put it in the comments. Whoever gets the most likes, I'll go and find that one. Don't forget to subscribe. Until the next time, bye-bye.